following program is an NBC special presentation.
This is NBC Radio.
They've got Johnny Carson, Milton Berle, and Bob Hope.
Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas.
What about Nell Carter and Tom Brokaw?
And I heard Raymond Burr and Angie Dickinson and Michael J. Fox are on.
Barbara Eden
and
Harry
They've
Anderson.
got Pat
Sajak.
Sabrina LaMarche.
Valerie Harper and Dinah Shore and Steve Allen.
Of course all those stars are going to be here. It's NBC's 60th anniversary. Everybody's going to be here. It's why I'm taking the tour. Thank you. Come on.
Good morning. Morning. It's a nice day for a tour.
Keisha, would you stop with the nuts? After we pack the tour and after we've seen all the sights, then we'll grab some food.
Come on, Keisha, put the bag of nuts away. You're gonna spoil your lunch.
Would you like me to hold the nuts for you?
No, I'm saving them for the birds upstairs.
Birds? You never said anything about birds. You know how I feel about birds?
Calm yourself, madam. Honey, there are no birds on the 8th floor.
She thinks we're gonna see the peacocks once we get upstairs.
Peacocks?
Yeah. She thinks there are peacocks because...
This is NBC.
Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know? NBC first started 60 years ago.
Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know? You're invited to this very special show.
At NBC, we're standing very tall, and it's clear we're here to thank you for it all.
Forgive us if we have to crow. Bill Cosby's #1.
Johnny Carson has the time.
Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know? It's our 60th anniversary show. Come on! At NBC, at NBC, it's a very happy anniversary. Our attitude is gratitude, it's gratitude.
From all of us to you and to your family.
We're chained and bright at morning's early light, and we stay all day till Letterman says goodnight.
Till David Letterman says goodnight.
All shows of great variety. Golden Girls and Hill Street Blues, Mr. Brokaw's Nightly News. Hey, did you know?
Hey, did you know?
Hey, did you know? It's our 60th anniversary show. Wah, 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 wah. Do you recall the famous Craft Music Hall with Rudy Valley as MC?
Commercials by Ed Hurley.
was that in 1943.
Geez!
Viewers all chose to look at your show of shows where Sid and Imogene did fight.
Till Saturday became their night.
And it was live in black and white.
Right.
Mr. Toscanini, his bad tongue would twirl. Brought NBC its culture and then Milton Berle. All those Hallmark classics helped drama survive. And on to Howdy Doody and Saturday Night Live. These are the memories, all of them NBC.
Mr. Hope.
To NBC's 60th anniversary celebration with the NBC family of stars. Steve Allen, Fran Allison, Harry Anderson, B. Arthur, Gene Barry, Milton Berle, Tempest Bledsoe, Tom Brokaw, Pierce Brosnan, Raymond Burr, Red Buttons, Sid Caesar, McDonald Carey, Johnny Carson, Nell Carter, Connie Chung, Dick Clark, Robert Conrad, Robert Culp, Ted Danson, Don Before, Angie Dickinson, Hugh Downs, Barbara Eden, Ralph Edwards, Nanette Febvre, Kim Fields, Michael J. Fox, Arlene Francis, Soleil Moon Frye, Estelle Getty, Marla Gibbs, Melissa Gilbert, George Gobel, Lorne Green, Deirdre Hall, Valerie Harper, Julie Harris, David Hasselhoff, Ed Hurley, Bob Hope, Don Johnson, Perry King, Jack Klugman, Hope Lang, Sabrina LaBeouf, Jerry Lester, Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop, Hal Linden, Norman Lloyd, Shelley Long, Gloria Loring, Peter Marshall, Dick Martin, Rue McClanahan, Ed McMahon, Mitch Miller, Edwin Newman, Merlin Olsen, Jack Parr, Patty Page, Bert Parks, George Papard, Rhea Perlman, Keisha Knight Pulliam, Sarah Purcell, Charlotte Ray, John Ratzenberger, Gene Rayburn, Martha Ray, Carl Reiner, Alfonso Ribeiro, Joan Rivers, Doris Roberts, Dan Rowan, Pat Sajak, Ricky Schroeder, Doc Severinsen, Dinah Shore, Buffalo Bob Smith and Howdy Doody, Robert Stack, Craig Stevens, Mary Stewart, Philip Michael Thomas, Daniel J. Travanti, Robert Vaughn, Malcolm Jamal Warner, Betty White, Jonathan Winters, Jane Wyatt, and Robert Young.
Welcome to NBC, folks. We'll show you how NBC works, and we'll show you how your favorite television programs get on the air, and tell you a little bit about how we got to this moment. We're now taking you towards one of the most famous television studios in New York, Studio 8H.
Hey, isn't this where they do Saturday Night Live?
Right you are, Sonny. And a lot more besides.
Way back in the 30s, 8H was about the best-known musical studio around, because the world-famous maestro Arturo Toscanini used to broadcast from here with the NBC Symphony Orchestra every Saturday night. And Americans were glued to the radio listening for 13 years.
And then I remember some of the truly wonderful dramatic shows that came from this studio. Sure, way back when television was just getting started, there was Philco Television Playhouse and the Kraft Television Theater. Both from these studios.
Oh, and all those fabulous young actors. Not yet stars, but you just knew they were going to be.
You were watching me?
And so are most of the other girls. Some men are like that. They compel attention.
I didn't even see you until just a few minutes ago. And I couldn't wait to be introduced.
Some men are like that. What are you going to do now that you're out of the Navy?
What is there to do? Go into business, I expect.
Stocks and bonds?
Uh-huh. There's a place in my Uncle Robert's firm, Paula.
Will you be very successful?
I expect so.
And rich?
I'm rich already.
So am I. That's nice, isn't it? I mean, it's nice.
Next stop, La Havre. Like to be on board? Oh, I am on board, man. I'm promenading the deck and digging all that fancy jive like mad. Oh, it's crazy. Oh, it's wild. Now I'm on the top deck. And I'm 600 miles out to sea. And I'm smelling that air, man. Ooh, that's crazy. You smell it, man?
Smell like garbage in a river.
The woods, you know?
Flesh, Melky.
Why do you always have to look down, man? Why don't you look up? It's beautiful up there. You're 10 feet tall, so use it to look up.
6'1".
The Kraft Television Theater.
Thank you. Thank you very much for everything. Yes, thank you.
What did he say?
They want me to be a soloist with the New York Philharmonic in November. Hey, Ralph Crane, I'm going to be soloist with the New York Philharmonic.
Darling, I don't know what...
Well, dear, don't cry.
I can't help it.
We made it. We finally made it.
Look at it now. Wait. You could walk from one end to the other in 3 minutes. Dinky town, dinky street. You know, you just live and die on the front porch. Ice cream socials, and weddings, and a general store. Well, that's it. But I love it.
Do you blame this unhappy house you've made on me?
You're wrong, Pato. It was a happy house.
Am I mad? Am I out of my mind to be listening to my own son, a half-man, talking to me like this?
Remember who made me a half-man. I'm my father's son. Remember that, Pato. This house was all right. And I'm telling you now to leave it as it was. And if you don't like it, you can leave it to itself.
Would you like a little drink before? Hey, you're new here, aren't you? Me? Oh, no. No, I'm here 9 years.
Yeah, he's new. Yeah. I thought I didn't recognize you.
Hold up there.
Oh, yes, sir.
How much you lose, son? $40, wasn't it?
Well, yes, it was, sir.
Well, it was a mistake.
No, sir. I saw them eagles fly. It was a disaster, but it weren't no mistake.
No, the mistake was mine. I shouldn't have bet against a woman.
Well, there weren't no women there.
Yes, there were. You weren't betting that queen for yourself. You said that was wedding money. No, if I did that, it'd be just like my dealing against a woman. My luck would go sour inside a week. So you just better take it back, huh?
No, sir, I lost it fair. Thanks.
Take it. And a piece of advice with it. Don't ever gamble again. Where you from?
Sandy Bar. I just come over the mountain.
You just ride back to Sandy Bar and get yourself married. The natural course of things, you'll probably have children, so you pass my advice on to them, too. Because it's a scientific possibility that your horrifying innocence just may be hereditary.
Well, I don't know which I need most, the money or the advice. I reckon I'll just take them both. I sure do thank you, mister. I ain't gonna forget this.
Young George C. Scott and an even younger J.R. Did you see that last show?
I did. We just gotten our television set. Cheese was a big item in our family, and my mom let me stay up.
Well, did you realize that they did the commercials in the studio live in those days?
You're kidding.
Here's a gentleman who can tell you all about it. He was the announcer for those commercials, and 39 years later, still is. Ed Herlihy.
He's right. We did those commercials live for 25 years. Let me tell you, they drove the actors crazy. There they were, playing a love scene or right in the middle of some dramatic moment, and the dietitian would start to heat up the cheese. Well, that great smell would kind of just waft across the studio. And the cameraman would be dollying in for a close-up, and the actors would be emoting, and there she'd be, whipping up the eggs and adding the lemon juice and pouring it over the broccoli or whatever. Oh, it was wonderful. Those early days of live television were great fun. I miss it.
Well, what about Saturday Night Live? You grown-ups are always talking about the good old days when NBC does great live television right here every Saturday night. I remember some of those wild programs.
It's Saturday Night Live! Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Okay, we're good moves. Okay, let's get together for a team prayer. Get down on one knee. Dear Lord, please give us the zaniness and courage these men need to make America laugh. Because America is the funniest nation in the world.
Hello, I'm Baba Wawa. And welcome to Baba Wawa at Lodge.
We are two wild and crazy guys.
The women always leave me, man. I don't mind them leaving, but they tell you why.
Good evening, I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not.
Oh, perfect. Oh,
Joe, I wish I'd put on some sort of an oven mitt at this point. Oh, that's a pain that's gonna linger. There's no question about that. But I don't care.
Baby, pushing round your hide.
Let me let you in on a little secret. Once I, Rosanna Dana, had a little wart on my face. It was like this bubble thing, round, and it was harder to rock. I thought that I was gonna die.
Oh, you're crazy! You're crazy!
Excuse me, I am Joan Rivers.
I am Joan Rivers.
You are not Joan Rivers.
I am Joan Rivers.
If you are Joan Rivers, you are Joan Rivers on steroids.
Excuse me?
Samurai delicatessen.
I'd like to have a combination cold cut.
I'll tell you, I wanted to do a cheer for New York while I'm here. You got the greatest culture, symphonies and plays, also shopping, eating, meeting places, and subways. Take pride in yourself, you could be Philadelphia.
All right, Delta, come on, let's make some fast money. Come on down here. All right, Delta, I'm going to ask you 5 questions apiece and $100 apiece, and if you answer them all in 15 seconds, okay? Name a famous explorer.
Zythron the Insistent.
The biggest holiday of the year.
The moons of Mizar.
A place you keep your valuables.
In a Muldroth ion field.
A mode of transportation.
The foam shoe.
Something you eat with eggs.
Fiberglass.
Okay, Delta.
Suicide Prevention Center.
Soviet jewelry. The editorial was about jewelry, not jewelry.
Oh, well, that's very important.
Yes.
Never mind.
Mr. President, did the subject of horses come up at dinner?
Well, no, it didn't.
I am dark and you are light.
You are blind as a bat, and I have sight. Side by side, you are my amigo. Negro, let's not fight.
You are white.
You are black, and who cares? Who cares, baby?
So that's all for now, my friends. I'm so glad to see you. Remember, you look marvelous. And for me, Fernando, I would rather look good than to feel good. Good night, my darlings. I'll see you soon.
Has anybody seen Keisha?
I was watching Saturday Night Live. Maybe she wandered off.
Whoa, the whole tour is gone.
Well, what's the next stop?
Well, I hope it's the costume department because I want to see that and I want to see makeup.
Let's go look for her and let's us stick together so that we don't get separated.
Interesting.
In 1939, NBC took its television broadcasting equipment and one camera to Baker Field to watch the home team, Columbia University, play a baseball doubleheader with Princeton. The second game of the doubleheader was the first live television broadcast of a sporting event. From what we're told, the pictures were pretty vague and a little hard to follow. Oh, and for the record, Princeton won 2-1.
Right in here in the mini control room. Just sit anywhere. Okay, now you're our weather volunteer?
Yes.
Now, I will program camera 1 not to accept green. Camera 2 is showing the weather map, and and I will place it over you and the green chroma key. Now, where are you from?
Chicago.
Okay, point to where you think Chicago is.
There.
You see, you have to look at the other monitor to see the map and then point your finger where you think it is.
I can't do this.
So you see how hard it is to be a weatherman. Now, tell me what you see.
Wow, it's the Johnny Carson show.
How do you know that? Aren't you in bed by the time that show is on?
I get to watch on Friday nights.
We watch it at college all the time.
Where's Johnny Carson? Is he coming out?
No, little girl. The Johnny Carson show is done in Los Angeles on NBC's big lot in Burbank.
But Carson did do the show in New York for a long time.
Yes, but of course he wasn't the first one to do it.
That honor goes to someone you may all know, Steve Allen. Now here's the very first Tonight Show.
From New York City, the National Broadcasting Company presents Tonight, starring Steve Allen.
This is kind of a mild little show. I don't expect you to say, boy, what a program. No, just look at it and, you know, decide in about a week what you think about it. You know, it's not as spectacular. It's going to be kind of a monotonous, I think. Especially selected this particular theater. This is a New York theater called the Hudson, and we especially selected this for this very late show because this theater's, I think it sleeps about 800 people.
The National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated stations from coast to coast present the new Tonight, starring Jack Parr, and it's all live from New York.
You know, this is an hour and 45 minutes a night, and I can't figure it out, really. It's a telethon, but I can't figure who it's for.
My brother was in a caravan in a parade down the middle of a big city, and by mistake, the driver turned off, went through the crowd, and then had to circle the block to tried then to come back into the crowd and into the way of march. And a policeman stopped him, put up his hand, and said, "You can't go any further." And Jack got up and said, "But I'm Senator Kennedy. I belong in the parade." And he said, "I don't care if you're Jack Parr. You're not going to get in there."
May I ask you, so that I don't look too naive, a tough question right off the bat?
And whether I'm a Democrat or Republican?
We're spending more money for this orchestra than we ever spent in our life, and Jose has made a concerto arrangement of this hinky-dinky song that you wrote. Would you play it for us? Why don't you play for me?
Would you like me to play?
Yeah,
that'd be a beautiful combination.
All right.
All right. Move that way a little bit. You're standing in front of my candelabra.
This is the legend of Cassius Clay, the most beautiful fighter in the world today.
From New York, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. Here's Johnny.
On my 10th anniversary, you would have been there, but you weren't even born.
No, I just, I talk about my age. Sure, I did. You like my hair? Yeah, very nice. You want some?
controversial. It's something new that...
But after, like, 3 years of seeing me, you'd think that people were a bit used to me by now, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, in a country that has Liberace, I'm hardly revolutionary, am I? You know?
Yeah, that's true. You're not the greatest advocacy of marriage, are you?
I don't believe in it, no.
Tell me why.
Because I don't believe in divorce.
That's the... It's that simple.
Your main control is in the legs, because if the bird flips...
I don't think he's going to go very far, but if you'll hold this right there and your hand right there.
Hold what?
Just hold this thing right there. Your hand here, he'll be all right. And I'll be right back in just a second.
Jim! Sis boom ba. Sis boom ba. Describe the sound made when a sheep explodes.
Freaks, Art Fern here today with today's fabulous feature film find. Dean Jones, Buck Jones, Louis Stone, Fran Chatone, Tony Bennett, Joan Bennett, Max Sennett, and starring Morris, the Gentile cat, in Tarzan Brings Home a Social Disease.
If we have birth control, where are all the people going to come from to fight the population explosion?
I was just making conversation.
Well, don't.
No need to get hostile.
I can get hostile if I want to. I'm old. You don't have to reiterate everything I say. I said I believe in old people's rights. And you said you believe in old people's rights. They're not dumb out there. We don't...
I like that.
Yeah, that was fun.
I wish we could see Mr. Carson.
They don't make them like that anymore, kid.
I thought I recognized you.
Really?
From the elevator.
Yeah, from the elevator, that's right. Yeah.
You work here, don't you?
Yeah, I do, from time to time. In fact, I started my television show from here in 1948. A little bit before you were born. Started right from this studio behind me, 6B. 38 years ago, the first TV show from this studio, 6B, was the Texaco Star Theater. Would you like to see the studio? Come on,
sure.
Come on, come on. We'll walk in there. I'll show you something.
Oh, we're the men of Texaco. We work from Maine to Mexico. There's nothing like this Texaco of ours. Now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing America's #1 television star, the man who has captured America's heart, Milton Berle.
But it is really a very, everybody looks, we have a wonderful show prepared for you, but it won't be ready until next week, and I'm Oh, Milton, you're wonderful. You have wonderful tonight. You have gems. You stand up and tell the same joke, and I'll show you how you'll get a big laugh. Go ahead.
I'd really appreciate
it. Tell her how to say the same joke.
My wife was cleaning the closet, and she said that she saw a moth. Try! Oh, no! He drowned out my punchline!
Makeup!
Thanks a million.
No, but I really do hope for his sake that I'm picked as the best-dressed woman of the year.
Well, that's a great honor, because I know I won it in 1948.
He nothing but a hound dog.
very happy to be here, ladies and gentlemen, and particularly to be able to fill Uncle Milty's shoes.
You through that cigar?
No, I'm not through with them. Not right now.
Well, you don't expect me to wait around here all night, do you? Not bad for NBC.
Wait a minute. You listen to me. I'm Burl. Burl.
Two Burl eggs.
In conclusion, I'd like to say these words, and I mean it. Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Or would you rather be a pig?
Mr. Burl, that was great.
Really, you liked it, huh?
I really did.
Wow.
I wish I could stay, but I have to find my friend Keisha.
Good to see you. Goodbye, Malcolm.
Goodbye, Mr. Burl.
Goodbye.
First down on the Indians' 1-yard line. The seconds are ticking away. Crowd's going wild. I'll go wild in a minute if this keeps up much longer. Here they go again. Stanford digging in deep, determined to halt the Crimson Tide. And they fight desperately to put over this goal.
I was listening to the 1927 Rose Bowl game. It ended in a tie. Alabama 7, Stanford 7. Well, while they're looking at television, let me tell you about the early days of radio. Yeah, that's how it started. Those are the original chimes. But I gotta be honest with you, 60 years ago, come November, when NBC did its first radio broadcast, I wasn't really paying that much attention. I was working all over the country in vaudeville, and some other guys went on radio. Al Jolson made his debut on NBC in 1928.
Musical starring Al Jolson.
When the red robin starts bobbing along.
The next year, Rudy Valley and Amos and Andy started.
Hi-ho, everybody. This is Rudy Valley and Company.
Hey, Amos, come here. I've been looking all over for you. How you like it up here in the country?
Oh, great, Andy. Say, what's this I've been hearing about you?
Pretty soon, there were Edwin and Jack Benny.
Rosalie is so fat that when she goes to bed, she reminds you of an ocean liner. It takes a couple of tugs to get her out of a slip.
I said your money or your life. I'm thinking it over.
By the time I got back to New York and Rudy Valley asked me to do his show, I thought, why not? You know, people started to come up to me after that and say things like, hey, I liked you on that radio show last week. And I began to think there just might be more to radio than met the eye. So I signed aboard. I was lucky. I got a show for Woodbury Soap with Shep Fields and his rippling rhythm. And we came on the air right after the biggest show in radio, the Chase and Sanborn Hour, which starred Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy every Sunday night.
After all, if you're telling a story, Mr. Bergen, you know, Mr. Bergen. Yes, I know. Oh, you do? Yes. Well, then there's no use me telling you, no.
In those days, NBC was Sunday night, and Bergen's guests were always the top performers. Kate Smith, Eddie Cantor, George Burns, and Gracie Allen.
We'll be there with you. If you knew Susie like I know Susie, oh, what a girl.
Gracie, I looked all over. What happened to my tube of shaving cream?
Well, it's in the kitchen. George, what do you think a man would like?
It's in the kitchen?
Yes, I decorated my sister Bessie's birthday cake, and I ran out of whipped cream.
Radio was full of great comedians, Fred Allen and Portland Hoffa.
What does the paper say?
Say, look on this last page here. A list of definitions. Here's one of an optimist.
An optimist is a man who doesn't care what happens as long as it doesn't happen to him.
Groucho Marx.
You bet your life. It's a quiz show. I ask people questions. Wait a minute. You're not Dr. IQ. No, I'm still an intern.
The audiences really had to participate. They had to supply the illusion, the imagination, the visual part of what they were all listening to. Radio tied the country together in a very special way. In 1938, I got my own show for Pepsodent. By that time, I was also working in Hollywood and films, and we did the radio show from out there as well. Then when World War II started,
are we winning?
I began to originate the radio shows from Army, Navy, and Marine bases all over the world.
How are you, fellow tourists? How are you?
We took along a troupe of entertainers, and we kept that up right through 1948.
You look familiar. What were you in civilian life?
Happy.
I just want you boys to see what you're fighting for, that's all.
Then we started our custom of taking a Christmas show to bases in different parts of the world, and we sort of just segued into television with it.
Thank you very much. Here we are in West Berlin, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Naples. Guantanamo's a Navy term meaning I hear you knocking, but you can't come in. I don't know how close this is to Russia, but the guys in the last 3 rows are drinking hot borscht. This year they sent me here. We're thrilled to be here at Osan Air Base, Korea. This is Christmas Day, Vietnam. Here I am at Da Nang, better known as Dodge City. Where are we? Diego Garcia, huh? Cu Chi, that's Vietnamese for you want it, you can have it. Nice to be here at An Cave. Great to be here. This year we're in beautiful Nam Phang, Thailand.
We are right off the coast from Beirut on the hangar deck of the USS Guam. Have a wonderful Christmas, and we pray that we'll see you home soon.
Thank you very much.
President Roosevelt says that the Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii from the air. This bulletin came to you from the NBC newsroom in New York.
December 7th, 1941, the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. President Roosevelt said it was a date which will live in infamy. This is the room in the RCA building in New York from which America first heard the news. It's an office now, and no one around here these days was working here then. My generation remembers December 7th and where we were later when President Roosevelt died. We are joined by our children in remembering John Kennedy when he told us that there were missiles in Cuba pointed our way. And there cannot be anyone over 27 in this country, or perhaps in the world, who doesn't remember where they were when they heard the news on the afternoon of November 22nd, 1963.
That President Kennedy died at approximately 1 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is about 35 minutes ago.
And how they spent the long weekend that followed. Perhaps it's a comment on the world we now live in that so many of these instant memories are sad.
I may not get there with you.
The subsequent assassinations, Kent State,
between National Guardsmen and students.
My Lai in Vietnam.
No one offered resistance.
Watergate.
But the best evidence of what these tapes say is the tapes themselves.
The hostages taken. The Pope shot.
Exactly 5:17 p.m.
The planes hijacked.
Cold-bloodedness of the hijackers on the ground.
And there was the tragedy of the Shuttle Challenger.
The head of the space shuttle program had no explanations, just sorrow at the tragedy.
The moon landings and other good news seemed to come less frequently. But December 7th, 1941 was a date which will live in the history of broadcast journalism. The war which followed set the patterns of much of the news we get today. The war forced this business to grow up fast. It was still growing fast when I joined NBC in 1950, when the coaxial cables for television were being laid across the country. We invented a whole new enterprise called television news in those days. And now we're using satellites and computers, and God knows what they'll invent next, but we'll use that too. When you think about it, though, nothing fundamental has changed in all these years. We are still trying to get the news out as accurately and as quickly as we can. Good news and bad, pictures and sounds of triumph or tragedy that stay in the mind. NBC News has become more important than I ever thought it would be. There are more scholarly studies about our impact than I have time to read. Politicians like to beat up on us occasionally. I guess it goes with the territory. But there are some real satisfactions, and the main one is this. Americans know more about their world and about themselves because we've been here doing our jobs. So I'm proud to be part of NBC News and to share in this celebration.
Keisha, where have you been?
Well, hi, can we help you?
Hi, we're taking the tour of NBC.
I see you very early every morning.
Yeah, the Today Show. You're Jane Pauley and you're Brian Gumbel.
Hi, how you doing?
We were just looking at some plays, and they took all the color out of.
Captain Philco.
You mean black and white? That was before they had color.
You know, back when the Today Show started, it was in black and white.
When did it start?
Well, it's the longest-running daily show on NBC. The first Today program was broadcast from New York 34 years ago, on January 14th, 1952 to be exact. Back then, the host was one of the great communicators of this business, a fellow named Dave Garroway.
Well, here we are. Good morning to you. The very first good morning of what I hope and suspect will be a great many good mornings between you and I. Here it is, Jack said, January 14th, 1952, when NBC begins a new program called Today, and if it doesn't sound too revolutionary, I really believe begins a new kind of television. This is in no sense a studio. This is really a working news center. The news actually is written and put together here in front of your eyes and will be every morning. These are our tape recording machines that put down the voices of people all over the world who may have spoken during the night or who may speak on our early morning program. We'll record them for rebroadcast later.
Well, London. Hello, London. Stand by, London.
London, is that Romney Wheeler?
New York.
Good morning, Romney. This is the first of the NBC series of Today broadcasts.
Well, Dave, here in London, we're pleased and proud to be part of this exciting new experiment.
Now we'll take it down in Washington at top of the Wardman Park Hotel. Take it, Washington.
This, Dave, is the Pentagon building over in Arlington, Virginia. Things aren't so visible from the Wardman Park.
We'll be with you every day for 2 hours in the morning, just about.
You know, he had a monkey for a friend called J. Fred Muggs.
Don't forget, now, I'm looking at you. No, I'm not looking at you. Take your mouth out of my glasses there. What's the idea?
And after Garroway came a face you'll probably recognize, John Chancellor.
Yeah, I see him on the nightly news.
The Russian cosmonaut discloses that he was ejected from his spaceship and floated to Earth in a parachute.
The picture you're looking at right now is being broadcast to the United States and to Europe simultaneously via the RCA communication satellite called Relay.
As Lyndon Johnson and his family prepare to leave the White House, it is an opportune time to talk with some members of the Johnson staff who have been particularly close to the family.
And in the second half of this hour, we'll be talking with Special Watergate Prosecutor Leon Jaworski in Washington.
I'm Jim Hartz in the NBC News Center. And later in the hour, we'll be switching to Washington, where our guest, the president of
The young woman with me this morning is someone I'd like you to meet very much. She is Jane Pauley, who is fast becoming familiar to Chicagoans. Jane co-anchors the evening news here and has been doing that for the last 3 months, and she is going to be our co-host this morning on the Today Show's Salute to Illinois. Good morning.
I'm Tom Brokaw here with Jane Pauley on the Today program. Not a lot of surprises in the next 60 minutes here.
We have more heat continuing here in the nation's midsection down into West Texas. It will continue on pretty much throughout the first part of this week. And the heat goes on North Carolina, South Carolina, and throughout Georgia, 100 degrees or better.
Hi, from Tokyo.
Good morning, all. I'm Tom Brokaw, standing live here aside the Panama Canal. For the next 2 hours, the Today program will be originating from here.
Dobre utro, Jane, and welcome to the Soviet Union. Good morning. The Today Express, a specially assembled Amtrak train, is traveling up through Middle America this week. A trip that'll carry us to New Orleans, Memphis, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, 2,500 miles by journey's end. Are you cognizant of how intimidating it is to be a guest in your program?
A lot of people who've come on the show maybe have watched it for years. Yeah. And now all of a sudden they've put themselves in that position. Yeah, here we are, Tonight Show. And you get that reaction. Yeah. I can see that. But I don't think it has anything to do with me.
Was Johnny Carson here in New York when he did the interview, or was he in Burbank?
No, he was in Burbank.
Malcolm, we gotta get to Burbank.
Yeah, right, Keisha. Let's go. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.
Malcolm, where's Burbank?
Mr. Hope, could you give us another level, please?
Oh, yeah, this drunk was putting all these quarters in this parking meter, and a policeman walked up and said, "Are you crazy?" Drunk said, "Crazy? Look at the odds, 9 to 5. Who's there?
Sorry, Mr. Hope. I couldn't help listening. I'm really a big admirer of yours. Oh, my name is...
Michael J. Fox.
That's right, you know.
Sure. I've watched Family Ties, and I think you're a wonderful young comedian. Actor, actually.
Well, I can't tell you what that means coming from you. I mean, you're a master of timing.
No, you are. I saw Back to the Future. Now, I learned a lot playing vaudeville all over this country, you know, playing in front of every kind of an audience. Best education there was in vaudeville.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I wasn't even around when vaudeville died.
It died and went on the Ed Sullivan Show. But it all came back as television. Some of the best variety performers who ever appeared on the tube were old vaudeville hands like Jack Benny and George Burns.
I was lucky enough one time to see some old television footage with Eddie Cantor and Jimmy Durante.
From Hollywood, Colgate Palmolive Peace presents the Colgate Comedy Hour, starring Eddie Cantor.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is really an exciting event. This is the first time that a television show is going commercial from Hollywood across the nation. So, make my bed, light the light, I'll be home late tonight, Blackbird, bye-bye.
Mama, we take the song. Say now, even when things go wrong, I used to be better, you even look better. Folks, I'm very happy to be on Sunday nights for Colgate. For all over the country, romantic young couples are sitting in their love seats, holding hands, watching television, with all the lights out except the lights from their television sets. I got an idea. Turn all them cameras off. That's it. Now turn them on again. I hope you kids took advantage of the blackout.
Whatever your name is. No, you don't understand. You take the bucket and you put it under the cow's udder. Huh? You take the bucket and you put it under the cow's udder.
The cow's udder what?
Not udder what, the cow's udder. I take the bucket and I put it where? Under the cow's udder. The cow's udder what? Not udder.
But then television started training its own. One of the first teams was Martin and Lewis.
Get your filthy hands up!
I think we lost the punchline of the whole sketch. Where's the wishbone? What happened to the wishbone? Huh? We lost the wishbone. Listen. You know how accidents happen on shows? If we didn't find the wishbone, you people would be tuned in till 11:30.
And if it doesn't work out, don't blame Paul or the boys in the band or anybody like that, because if I'd have known I was going to do it this way, I should have been around here all day and rehearsed it this afternoon, but I couldn't make it this afternoon because I was tied up. And I wasn't doing anything, just laying there in the closet, tied up.
Thank you. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, NBC. And thank you, Pontiac. I want you to know I'm tickled to death to be back. I want you to know I came prepared for the show tonight. I went to the barber shop this afternoon. I figured even if the jokes are no good, at least you walk out of here saying, well, he's a clean-looking kid anyhow.
A man is a two-faced
the night. Dream along with me. I'm on my way to the star. Come along, leave your worries where they are. You didn't think I knew the lyrics, huh? The night is like a lovely tune. Beware my foolish heart.
Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you apple, a plum, and apricot too.
Folks, we'd love to settle down here. Just us and old paint.
Hey, honey, it's Eddie Bracken.
He's eating my dress. It's Eddie Bracken.
But it's still Eddie Bracken. Moon River, wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday.
Giselle McKenzie brings us that well-known sarcastic love song, A Fine Romance.
A fine romance with no kisses. A fine romance, my friend, this is.
Don't be nervous, folks. Dean is fine. He just fell in the wine cellar.
Hazel!
Well, you gotta see it to believe it.
Well, you better believe it, because you ain't gonna get to see it.
And Martin's Laugh-In.
Every Christmas I waited for you.
Unless my clock is right, it's Sock It To Me time.
Sock it to me?
This kind of stuff won 16 Emmys? Who would dare sock it to me?
There's no one left to sock it to me.
Sock it to me? Well, I guess you're looking forward to a good season.
You bet your sweet Bippy I am.
White North, and look at this. I'm Bob McKenzie, and this is my brother Doug, and this is Doug's new beer bottle. Look.
Oh, take off, eh?
Your underwear can kill you, say top researchers.
It's true. People will put on extra weight and they'll buy clothes bigger than them, but they won't do that for underwear. And as a result, the blood gets trapped in their tush area, and they die.
They're all so wonderful. The easy dancers, great singers, funny.
Be a clown, be a clown. All the world loves a clown. Act a fool, play the cat, and you'll always have the last laugh. If you become a doctor, folks will face you with dread. If you become a dentist, they'll be glad when you're dead. You'll get a bigger hand if you can stand on your head. Be a clown, be a clown, be a...
Join the circus like you wanted to when you were a kid. Climb aboard before it moves on and you'll thank your lucky stars you did. Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone, a comedy tonight.
Something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone, a comedy tonight.
Nothing with kings,
Nothing with crowns. Bring on the lovers, liars and clowns.
old situations, new complications.
Nothing portentous or polite. Tragedy tomorrow.
Tragedy tomorrow.
Comedy tonight.
Come follow the band wherever it's at. Let both of your feet beat time to the drum and let your heart go rat-a-tat-tat. A flag in your hand, a plume in your hat. Step out to the sweet bugle plays the sound that you remember all your days. And when you see the little Johnny raise his hand, follow the band.
I want to be happy, but I won't be happy till I make you happy too. Life's really worth living when we are worth giving. Why can't I give some to you? When skies are gray and you say you are blue, I'll send the sunshine through.
I love your funny face, your sunny, funny face.
Though you're no Gloria Swanson, for worlds I'd not replace your funny, sunny
Isn't it rich?
What?
Aren't we a pair?
What are you talking about?
Me here at last on the ground. Send in the clouds.
Shut
Isn't it rich?
Huh?
Isn't it queer?
You're losing your timing this late in my career.
And where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns.
Shall we?
Don't bother. They're here.
The costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, the audience who lifts you when you're down. The headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops, the sheriff who escorts you out of town. The opening when your heart beats like a drum. The closing when the customers won't come.
Be a clown, be a clown. All the world loves a clown. Act the fool, play the calf, and you'll always have the last laugh. Dress in huge baggy pants, and you ride the road to romance.
Be a clown, be a clown, be a clown.
Here's the makeup display.
Oh, cool. Look at all this weird stuff. What's that?
Well, that's a false nose, but I don't know what all this other stuff is.
Well, it's rubber made in layers, and when an actor has to grow old in the part, that's what the makeup people use to age them.
Well, doesn't it make your face feel funny?
Well, I don't know. They don't do it to tour guides. But there was a wonderful program many years ago. Julie Harris was the star, and she was playing Queen Victoria. She went from being an 18-year-old girl into the 82-year-old Queen of England.
Oh, only Cousin George. The other day he asked me to marry him. He said it would make him good.
Your cousin George?
Yes.
He said that all my uncles wished it, and that the king wished it too, so that was why he asked me.
I dare say they do. But you are not going to marry your cousin George. He is not going to be king.
No, Mama. Not if I'm to be queen. I saw the prince give her this flower. Do you mean to deny it?
No, Your Majesty, no. He did not give it to her. She had dropped it.
Dropped it? Yes, I'm sure.
No, ma'am. Quite by accident. It fell out of her hair. The prince only picked it up and returned it to her.
You saw that, you say? Life in the next world, when we really get to it, will be very interesting. So much to see and hear and learn. My dear Lord, pray sit down.
I thank you, ma'am. May I be permitted to inquire if Your Majesty's health has benefited?
I'm feeling bonny, as we say in Scotland. Life out of doors suits me. Now to affairs of state. This morning's news is not good, I'm afraid. The Russians are getting nearer to Constantinople.
They will never enter it, ma'am.
Listen. Still cheery. Oh, Albert. If only you had been here.
That, of course, was a production of the Hallmark Hall of Fame. The first Hallmark aired on Christmas Eve, 1951. It was the first opera commissioned for television, Amal and the Night Visitors.
For a change.
But you won't believe me.
I'll believe you if you tell me the truth.
Sure enough, there are not two kings outside.
That is surprising.
The kings are three, and one of them is black.
Oh, what can I do with this story? If you were stronger, I'd like to win you.
I knew it.
I'm going to the door myself, and then, young man, you'll have to reckon with me.
If I took money for what I say, I'd be cheating the public, for in truth I know nothing. All I have is a kind of skill in debate.
But that's what they use you for. That's what they go to you for. Alcibiades did it, and Critias, and dozens of others. They spend a few years with you, and suddenly they are great orators and powers in the state, while here you sit in the same old shirt.
If I took money, then it leads you to corruption if you're searching for the truth. Eventually you'll go where the money is, not where the truth is.
Who is she? She first-class geisha girl. She know her business. Good night, boss.
Take no answer for an answer.
Hello!
You don't have to shout. I can hear you. Just thought I'd check up on you. How are things going?
Well, everything seems to be under control at the moment, sir.
How are you getting along with the villagers?
Well, the problem here's an old one, sir. It's a question of who's going to lose face.
I understand. As Mrs. Purdy says, east is east and west is west, and there can be no twain. But you're making progress.
Well, nothing I'd like to put on paper, sir.
Well, when when things get moving down there, send in a detailed progress report.
Well, if that's what you want, sir.
You'll find that these people lack the capacity for sustained endeavor. Don't hesitate to build a fire under them.
That won't be necessary, sir.
Don't forget, the eyes of Washington are on you, Fisby.
I hope not, sir.
Fisby, it just occurred to me, have you given any thought to physical education?
If I may say so, sir, I consider that suggestion a masterpiece of timeliness.
Thank you. Thank you, my boy. Could you use a deck of cards? Some old adventure magazines. Hello. Hello, Fisby. You're getting weak.
Why did you save me? Do you understand? Why?
Water. You gave me water and a little pity.
Lord Bottomley has asked me to marry him. Oh, really? Well, what do you know?
Oh, Maggie, I'm so excited. I just can't think straight.
Oh.
Now, you have got to help me get out of here.
Oh, Lorraine, I'd be delighted.
Now, let me understand this, Lorraine. Am I to gather from your girlish squeals that you're about to toss your career into the ash can?
Oh, Sherry, you can't...
I understand, only too well. I also understand why Liz Taylor is a bigger star than you are.
Lorraine, we're in luck. You can get a plane out of Toledo at 10:30. Now, that's only an hour from here. 10:30? That means that I can be in London tomorrow morning.
Hey, get ready, Mr. Whiteside. You're on in half an hour.
Oh, you know, it's snowing, and I just never felt so Christmassy in all my life. It's all working out so wonderfully, isn't it, Sherry?
Peachy.
Oh, tell me, why are you staring at my nose? Oh, no, does it astonish you?
Your Grace misunderstands. I've been careful not to look.
And why not, if you please?
Why?
It disgusts you, then?
My dear sir.
Does its color appear to you unwholesome?
Oh, by no means.
Or its form obscene?
Not in the least.
And why assume this deprecating manner? Perhaps you find it just a trifle large?
Oh, no. Small. Very small. Infinitesimal.
What house? You accuse me of absurdity. Small, my nose. Why, magnificent! My nose. You pug, you knob, you buttonhead. Know that I glory in this nose of mine. For a great nose indicates a great man. Genial, courteous, intellectual, virile, courageous, such as I am. And such as you, poor wretch, will never dare to be even in imagination. For that face of yours, which my right hand finds on top of you, is as devoid of pride, of poetry, of soul, of picturesqueness, of contour, of character, of nose, in short, as that which at the end of your limp spine my left foot kicks.
That's the end of the first act, friends. You can grab a snack now. That is, those of you not on a diet.
This is the NBC Scenic Department, and this is where we build backdrops for shows like The Tonight Show, game shows, light shows.
Hey, Pepper, how you doing?
Great, thank you. I still hear that from time to time, and I guess it's not so unusual. I played Sergeant Pepper Anderson on Policewoman for 4 years. Everything you see is for real. The pilot aired as an episode on another NBC series, Police Story. The police show has been a staple ever since the beginning of television. They've come thick and fast since then, with most of us instantly knowing where we are when we hear the famous musical logo. Dragnet heralded a major change in television cop shows.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Cases were drawn from the files of a real police department. Attention was paid to the details, the monotony and frustration of the day-to-day work, the price exacted from any kind of private life.
My name's Friday.
That basic formula now widely accepted. We welcomed program after program.
Hi, Granny. Chevy up ahead keeps checking us out. Wanna run him? Good idea.
And gradually the police detective became a standard.
too like me?
I don't think I said that, Commissioner. Mildred, be careful. Mac needs that for his work. That's work?
I'm a strange guy.
Really?
Yeah, I worry. I mean, little things bother me. I'm a worrier. I mean, little insignificant details. I lose my appetite. I can't eat.
Ellen! Ellen!
The international police detective, or spy, had a vogue.
No gunfight?
We don't want to make no trouble, mister.
No, it doesn't rub off. That's not war paint. What's your name?
The name is Templar. Simon Templar.
The private investigator came along and smudged the borders, but enjoyed audience popularity. Still does.
I gotta get some sleep, Ray. I am bushed. Come on, that could be opportunity. Al, hey, don't.
Mr. Rockford,
I'm Jim Rockford, miss.
I need your help. My sister Linda, something's happened to her.
It's awfully early in the morning. You think you could come back just a little later this morning?
What are you grinning at, Mr. Steele? Someone just tried to kill us.
Precisely, Miss Holt. We must be on the right track.
The scientific aspects of police work were introduced, and we all learned a lot about forensic medicine.
Onto your hat. Toxicology on Leopold Ackerman.
Tell me it wasn't the gas.
He was asphyxiated by the gas, but take a look what else showed up.
Chloroform. Enough to put him away?
More than enough. You think we got a murder on our hands?
At least one, Sam.
Then we got cops on wheels.
Dispatch, we have a 9/11. Armed robbery in progress. See surplus.
Sit down now, Rico! All right, you boys in there. Now you come out with your hands held high. I don't think they heard me. You get that feeling, do you? I said, come out!
But the good old basic cop on the street is still a concept that works, even though the streets they walk are a far cry from Dragnet's Los Angeles. And the cops involved are walking those streets in outfits Joe Friday would have run them in for almost 40 years ago.
5,000 street corners in greater Miami. And Gumby here's got to pick ours.
First down now for Southern Cal.
Do you remember the Rose Bowl back in 1969? Ohio State beat USC 27-16. But it wasn't because O.J. Simpson was goofing off. Almost half of his 170 yards rushing came on this spectacular 80-yard touchdown run.
If you concentrate, play your hunch, bet your life, and name that tune, you may be able to make the connection. And if the price is right, you could make a deal and break the bank. Welcome to the celebration of that part of NBC, which usually takes place in the daytime. I'm Pat Sajak, and this is my Wheel of Fortune.
And welcome to my world of daytime drama, or as they're lovingly known, the soaps. In the early 1930s, a radio serial, Ma Perkins was a real big winner. You know how our show begins. MacDonald Carey saying, like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Listen to what was said on the radio as Ma Perkins began.
Here's Oxidol's own Ma Perkins again. The true life story of a woman whose life is the same, whose surroundings are the same, whose problems are the same as those of thousands of other women in the world today. A woman who'd spent all her life taking care of her home, washing and cooking and cleaning and raising her family.
Well, Ma began in 1933 and was on the air for 15 years. In fact, the radio audience for daytime dramas was approximately 40 million housewives a day. When television came along, the soaps were not far behind. Early NBC daytime dramas were From These Roots in 1958, The Doctors in 1963, and one which began in 1964 and is still with us, Another World. Mary Stewart has been playing Joanne Barron for 35 years. She is Search for Tomorrow.
But where is Daddy, Mommy?
What were you going to say?
That's all.
What do you say? Partner.
Okay.
Hey.
Partner? Gonna join me, Clyde?
You're no fun. I bet you Bonnie would have gone along with the gag.
You know what happened to her? Oh, my God!
The latest exciting soap to join the NBC roster is The Fabulous Santa Barbara.
You can take it. As a matter of fact, you can take all of it. Only you haven't got me, and you have not got my son.
I think I love you.
Intact?
And of course, there's a very special place in my heart for the long-running Days of Our Lives.
You've given us back our family. Of course, deep down, I knew that we never lost it. And I never, never will.
Make my day.
Talking about gorgeous doll-face, you got a puss on you that just won't quit.
I guess I fell in love with you the first time I saw you.
Because we've got something very special here. It's worth fighting for.
Well, those wonderful dramas are a tough act to follow, but some of us in the game world can also claim to deal in fantasy.
Well, our bank has now drawn a sum of $2,000.
Welcome to Juvenile Jury. Now let's present our first in-person guest, kid, and her name is Bernadette Peters. Here she is. Bernadette? Hi, Bernadette.
It's the new Fred Allen Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Judge for Yourself.
Name that tune. Jump away. It's time to play Truth or Consequences. People are funny.
Let's see the hands of anybody here who'd like to get their hands on a brand new car.
What does the G stand for, Ramiro? Huh? Gonzalez? No, I know. Ramiro Gonzalez, but it says Ramiro G. Gonzalez. What does the G stand for?
Ramiro Gonzalez Gonzalez.
What are you, twins?
No, Ramiro Gonzalez Gonzalez, because my father, before she married my mother, he was Gonzalez.
Well, they were crazy to get married. What does your wife call you, Ramiro or Gonzalez?
She called me Pedro.
Would you like to be queen for a day?
Back for the second week, Mr. Cecil Rhodes, Jr. And returning with $14,000, Mrs. Vivian Nearing. Your host on The Price is Right, Bill Cullen.
Mr. Hearn, you're 37, tops 4, your last bid. 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
Give a chance to think now, everybody.
48.
The NBC television network presents Concentration. You have made a match. You get a look at 2 more parts of the puzzle which come into view. You have the right to guess in the next few seconds what is our puzzle.
The Battle of Lexington.
Is Sorry, you got it.
Welcome, everybody, to Play Your Hunch. And now here's the star of Play Your Hunch, Merv Griffin.
Bring that lady down here because tonight, dear teacher, it could be you.
The Match Game. And now here is your host, Gene Rayburn.
And here is the star of Jeopardy, Art Pudding.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a brand new show called Jeopardy. Let's play Double Jeopardy. Let's make a deal. And now, here's America's top trader, TV's big dealer, Marty Hall.
All set? Here we go. Who dictated the story of his life to a man named Barrett?
Colorado, Levine.
Geronimo, yes!
Hollywood Squares. Avarice, sloth, envy, lust, gluttony, pride, anger. Put them all together and you have...
Rock ropes.
It's Super Password. And the star of Super Password, Bert Convey. Over $100,000 on Sale of the Century.
$7.50.
I'd like an hour, please. Roman gladiator. You know, Pat, I think we have a lot in common.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Deidre, but what are you talking about exactly?
Well, I mean that we both deal with reality and fantasy every single day.
You know, there's one more thing we have in common, though.
What?
And that is all of us at NBC Daytime deal in entertainment.
You're right.
Happy birthday, NBC.
Stay right there and don't move.
1974, Atlanta versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. Hank Aaron, playing for the Braves, steps up to bat and hits his 715th home run to break Babe Ruth's record.
Welcome to the Ponderosa.
From 1950 to 1974, NBC aired more than 2,000 Western episodes. Now, that's a lot of horses. Throughout those years, the legends of the West came to life. Pat Masterson, Hopalong Cassidy, Daniel Boone, and, of course, Little Joe. We like to think of the Old West as a simpler time. A time when you didn't have to lock a door. A time when you could sleep with your gold under the mattress. But it took the deputy, Hank Fonda, to set the record straight.
Trouble is, life ain't all sweetness and light. Be nice if it was, but it ain't.
Taming the Wild West was a tall order, and no one in town could do it like Wells Fargo's quick-drawing Dale Robertson.
Try using that gun on me, workman. You've got an itch that nothing can soothe except seeing a man go down in front of your gun.
You had to be tough in the Old West. You weren't catching a robber, you were trying to fend off someone with a gun who thought he could outshoot you. Gene Barry's Bat Masterson always won the bet.
Ain't nobody can outshoot me. Now you watch.
Jack, let me have that bottle, please.
What Western was worth its salt without a good chase? And there was always a posse around just raring to go.
Up with him.
Well, Wait a minute, you little wildcat. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Well, what were you chasing me for?
Chasing you? I wasn't chasing you. I thought your horse was running away. I was trying to catch up with him.
You must think I'm pretty stupid, Mr.
My friends call me Hoppy, 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 Hoppy.
Acting in the Old West was a lot more than yup, nope, and follow that horse. You never knew who you'd find on the Virginia.
And thus we rust life's iron chain, degraded and alone.
Right fist, pocket picking flinch. I'm taking you to the sheriff.
Oh, no, you're not.
And you want to sit down by the general store at the other end of the street.
There were plenty of ways to settle an argument in the new frontier. You could gun a man down or ride him out of town. But Life Erickson from High Chaparral proved that nothing was better than the old 1-2. The West was a symbol of the American spirit and unity, and no one embodied those principles better than Fess Parker's Daniel Boone.
Well, what do you say, Gabriel? Will you sit down to a Thanksgiving feast with us? Will you bury that war club? You don't want to attack your people and your friends.
We'll feast at your table.
The West created heroes. The heroes became legends. Some of them are still with us today.
Happy trails to you, till we meet
I'll have to check out old prop rooms. This looks like a radio my dad used to have. In the 30s, kids spent the long winter afternoons listening to the radio and filling out the box tops and breakfast cereals and sending them in for prizes. Hot chocolate mugs from Orphan Annie, official buttons from Dick Tracy, decoder rings from Tom Mix. Kids ate the cereal and mailed the letters, but what they did mostly was listen to the radio. The next generation did much the same thing, although now they were watching as well. NBC's early television took care of the children with shows that taught manners, science, and the basics on how to get along in the world of the late 40s.
Why, hi, how do you do? Why, hi, I'm Jolie. Why, hi, how do you do?
Miss Francis rang her bell.
Good morning, boys and girls.
Mr. Wizard showed us Bunsen burners. and we sang along with Howdy Doody.
Howdy Doody song, let's go, kids!
And wondered why Clarabelle the Clown never spoke.
Wouldn't you rather have the balloons yourself? Why, certainly. Look, Clarabelle has balloons. Got balloons. What are you going to do with the balloons, Clarabelle? Gonna give them to the kids.
I'm gonna give my balloons to kids.
That's the spirit. Give the balloons to the kids.
Here's one piece.
Where'd your balloons go, Jim?
You pay my balloons.
It was a nice...
Lamb Chop was a real tiny woolly character.
Everybody always treats me like a nobody. Get out of here, nobody. They say. And I don't want to be a nobody. I want to be a somebody. Oh, please say yes. Don't say no. Don't say no.
Yes.
Why not? I said yes. What? You. Say it again. Yes.
It never really occurred to us to marvel at the fact that Sherry Lewis had a sock in her hand and spoke lamb. Snaggletooth Oliver Dragon and his wise and gentle friend Kukla, together with the real live Fran Allison, entertained us all from the years 1948 to the end of 1957. Do you remember when they did a full-scale production of St. George and the Dragon? With the musical accompaniment provided by Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops? Then the old world took a couple of turns, and the things that children had to be taught were of a very different nature. From clowns that didn't speak and socks that did, we learned it was okay to talk about being adopted.
It's just that ever since I was a little girl and knew I was adopted, I've thought about my real mother and father. I want to find them if I can.
We learned that sometimes people did terrible things to each other.
What are they doing, Dad?
I'm going out there.
Don't go, please, Billy.
Look, I have to go out there. Call the police.
We found that boys and men could have a good time taking care of babies.
Oh, boy, babies.
Hey, you guys, hey. Listen up.
I can't believe it, babies now.
There's lots to learn about. There's feeding, and diapering, and bathing. But the best part is how taking care of these babies is going to turn you guys on to one of the best parts of yourselves.
We learned that grown-ups had a tough time dealing with problems, too.
How come you got your uniform on?
Battle dress, my man. Got to go down to court this morning and jail this afternoon.
How come you don't wear everything?
Because we don't have to fight all of our fights in the courts, Louis. Some of them we got to fight starting right here on the block.
You gonna have a fight with somebody on the block?
No, not against anybody on the block, man. It's just we got to get it together until we can fight the people that make us live this way.
We learned that you had to learn to say no.
Your turn, Danny.
No thanks. It's not my thing.
If you just say no to drugs and alcohol, you'll be saying yes to a whole lot more.
We could see kids much like us halfway around the world through the good offices of a large yellow bird.
Oh, boy. Hey, everybody! This is the Great Wall of China!
Sure, we watch cartoons.
Oh, poor little ducky. What a terrible way to start your very first day. Oh.
I believe he thinks you're his mother, Smurfette.
His mother? But I...
We'd become an age group capable of discussing things.
Design. If you have checked your television, your newsstand, listened to your radio lately, you've no doubt heard that some are complaining that rock and roll lyrics have gone too far. Excessively violent in some cases, they say. Too sexually explicit in others.
It's pretty hard to tell a teenager or a kid around our age what to buy and what not to buy, especially when it comes to music.
It's what you, if the music is what you like,
then I don't think any adult should be telling the kids that this is too violent for a kid to listen to. If he likes it, then let him.
If a kid goes to a store and they heard music on the radio and they say, oh, I want to buy that record, then they can have it. Right, nothing's going to stop.
We found that the human spirit was unbeatable and that sometimes among us there are indeed Pied Pipers.
An 8-foot piranha is standing right there and looking at me with 1,000 teeth. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a step with the right foot. Bah! I'm going to kick that fish right in his teeth. But here's the hard thing. I'm going to pull my foot out of his mouth and put it down on the ground on 3. Now watch me. There's the piranha. Step. Kick. Bah! Bah! Here comes the piranha. Step. Bah!
I think he involves cops because normally you wouldn't think a police officer as a dancer. Sometimes you may not have fun, but it always leads to fun. He's like a whole different stage in my life. He's something I'll remember very much. I have learned that once you try something, you can do it.
NBC has had a 60-year commitment to children's programming.
Wimbledon, 1980. Bjorn Borg has won 2 sets. John McEnroe has won but a single set. The game score in the 4th set locked at 6-all. After the exciting tiebreaker is over, Borg has won the title.
Hi there. I know you've seen Bob Hope already, but I just had to slip in here and let you in on a little secret. Way back when television was just getting a toehold in your living rooms, I appeared on Bob Hope's first television show, his first special. Of course, they weren't called specials then. They were called spectaculars, but spectaculars or specials, every time we see him, it's an event, a special event, a spectacular event. I know we're all here celebrating NBC's 60th anniversary, but, and this is the little secret, this is Bob Hope's 53rd anniversary with NBC. He did his first radio show here for the network in 1933, and he hasn't missed a beat since.
Oh, let's go!
Steady, boy. You tell jokes?
Yep. You dance?
I name this territory Raquel Welch.
He's completely satisfied. I'm confessing that is why there's nobody like you.
Put it there, pal. Put it there. On making one more flick with me. Now, what's your attitude? Put it there, pal. Put it there.
Oh, you're adorable. Do you kiss as well as you dance?
Even better, I was siphoning before there was a gas shortage. Tell me, do you really love me?
Of course, I'll do anything for you.
Oh, good. Then you'll give me your Oscar?
But why on earth do you want to?
I had my ears pierced. You know your seams are crooked?
That shows how much you know. I'm not wearing stockings.
Well, you can hold it as long as you want. I don't work till November.
It's my show.
Boy, don't I know.
Here we are, 660 radio shows later, 300 television shows later, my spectacular friend and special event, Bob Hope. Mwah!
Thank you, Dinah. You're pretty special, too. That's becoming a slightly overworked word these days. If everything is special, then nothing is.
But when you look at some of the wonderful production that NBC has aired through the years, it's hard to come up with any other word to describe them than special events. Mary Martin, of course, starred in Peter Pan in the legendary NBC production in 1956 of that great classic. It was a special performance of a very special nature. It wasn't a series, it wasn't a variety show or a Western. It was just a special event. Throughout the years, NBC has had more than a few of these very special events.
Take a bell.
Love and marriage go together like the horse and carriage.
There was a spellbinding production of Our Town, which starred Frank Sinatra as the stage manager and Eva Marie Saint and Paul Newman as the young lovers.
You said that you watched me at everything that I did? Well, I was doing the same about you all the time. Sure. I always thought about you as one of the chief people I thought about.
Here is a tantalizingly short amount of footage from that historic Petrified Forest, which starred Henry Fonda, Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall, and Jack Warden.
The cops ain't likely to catch up with us, at least not for a while. So we can all be quiet and peaceable and have a few beers together and listen to the music.
Let there be killing. All evening long, I've had a feeling of destiny closing in. You thought you could escape it and skip off to the Phoenix Biltmore, but we know better. That's what the stars told me, and perhaps they know that carnage is imminent, and I'm due to be among the fallen. It's a fascinating thought.
Let's skip it. Happy days.
NBC has presented special events in almost every form, some long, some short.
Tens of thousands of them. Sick, dying, starving. Yes, a massive rescue operation.
You are the most beautiful woman I have ever known. And if I take one step toward you, I will forget why I came here in the first place.
I warn you, Jim. If you allow this atrocity to take place, I will personally see you are tried as a war criminal.
すみません、石戸様。しかし、いえ、ヤバ人。I am not a barbarian. 私はサムライ。私は旗本。I am samurai. いえ、ヤバ人。私はサムライ。
I'm going to try and get you some new identity papers.
Inga.
Then we can move somewhere else where they don't know us.
Inga.
Then you can work.
Inga, you're dreaming. It is the same all over Germany.
Why dismantle Auschwitz? Would it not be more fitting to let them stand as monuments to our great service to mankind?
No one will believe any of this. They'll say we lied. Because nobody could do this to other people.
No, you can't be responsible for every demonstration that goes wrong in this country.
And what Bird said on the floor of the Senate, that I was responsible for people being killed.
Now, since when have you cared what he says about you?
It isn't him, Corey. It's the others. It's our own young people that hurt the most.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing the words of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free.
I'm so awfully ashamed, Doctor.
It's all right.
I've always been like this. Always. And I used to think that everybody was like this. That they would just naturally wake up and be someplace else or a whole lot older or wearing another dress. Once I woke up and I was 2 years older.
Sybil.
Oh. Please don't touch me. It hurts me.
Take it easy, Eddie.
Could you hold these for me?
Oh, sure. Try to make it easy on yourself, Anasa.
I'm okay.
I'm just about finished.
You know something? They're not shooting me for desertion. Lots of guys have done that. They just need to make an example, and I'm it, because I'm an ex-con.
Your wrists.
Huh?
Haven't cut off the circulation, have I?
Oh, no, they're fine. I used to steal things when I was a kid. That's what they're shooting me for. They're shooting me for the bread and gum I used to steal when I was 12 years old.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou, woman, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for sinners, now at the hour of our death. Amen.
Okay, Francine, let's go through this again. You waited till Mickey fell asleep. Is that right? Right?
Yes.
Then you took the kids out to the car, right? Then you got the gasoline out of the garage and you came back into the house, right? And you poured the gasoline around the bed and then you lit a match and ran to the car, right? Right?
Yes.
Okay, the kids were in the car and they were scared and crying and you started driving away. Francine, what were you doing? Where were you going?
I ran for my life. I ran for the life of my kids.
Francine, did you premeditate and plan the death of your husband, Mickey Hughes?
No.
As you see, all of them are very special.
So let's everybody stay where they are.
Almost from the beginning, television relied on the comedy family series as the backbone of its weekly schedule. The first shows came to television from radio. The Goldbergs.
And you made a very important decision tonight, I understand. So I'd like to talk to you man to man.
Blondie.
15,692 rugs for only $710.
Well, 15,692 at $710 equals... that equals $22.10 apiece.
Thank you, dear. And of course, the Aldrich family.
Henry Aldrich!
Coming, Mother.
Father Knows Best was also an NBC radio series in 1949, before it came to television.
We have no eggs for breakfast.
No eggs?
We don't have any toast either.
No toast?
I didn't realize when I got down to get breakfast that we had no bread or eggs. I'm sorry.
Give me the front part of that paper, will you, bud?
Aren't you sore?
Sore about what?
No eggs or toast for breakfast.
What do you want me to do? Throw myself on the floor, kick my heels, and scream?
Well, the average man would at least grumble a little.
Okay. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Are you happy?
Father, stop.
Mr. Peepers was a shy science teacher whose every good move seemed to backfire.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I'll get the rope down over here.
Well, what are you going to do with that?
I'll just climb up and get the ball.
Well, then you better be careful. It looks awfully high up there. Oh, Mr. Peepers, be careful. It's slippery. Why don't you just forget all about it? Leave the ball up there. Come down. Mr. Peepers, your foot's slipping.
Hazel the housekeeper was based on a cartoon character from the Saturday Evening Post. Played by Shirley Booth, she almost always had the last word in her encounters with her boss.
Fearful lightning of this terrible
Hazel, Hazel, please. I'm trying to work.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. B. Hey, wasn't that a rip snorter of a sermon this morning?
Yes, let's not discuss it now, though.
You should have been sitting where I was. Boy, would you have been mad. The fella in front of me kept dozing off.
Well, there's nothing much you can do about that.
Oh, the heck there wasn't. Every time he'd nod, I'd flick him one on the ear.
In Bachelor Father, John Forsythe played a successful lawyer whose young niece came to live with him after her parents' death. In this prophetic scene, a friend of his niece is played by a very young Linda Evans.
Bentley Gregg.
Well, you're Dad's mouthpiece, aren't you?
I'm his attorney.
You're cute.
There's one word that I dislike more than mouthpiece. It's cute.
You're really putting me in my place today, aren't you, Uncle Benton? Well, I still think you're cute, but it's the last time you'll hear me say it.
Good.
Car 54, Where Are You? was a comedy police series.
There's a traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights.
And My Mother the Car starred Ann Sothern as the reincarnation of Jerry Van Dyke's mother. Now, we only heard her voice.
Well, I thought I had a tiger in my tank.
You remember the one about an astronaut who found an old bottle on a desert island? And guess who popped out? Oh, sometimes I still dream of Jeannie.
Oh.
I must have gone further into orbit than I thought.
Flipper was everyone's favorite dolphin.
They call him Flipper, Flipper, faster than lightning.
We love the spoof on governmental spying agencies. Get smart.
86, your mission is simple. Find chaos and destroy it. Get Mr. Big, rescue Professor Dante, and bring back the Inthermo.
This may run into a little overtime, Chief.
Max, you realize you'll be facing every kind of danger imaginable.
And loving it.
Yes.
The Monkees was a comedy series which attempted to take advantage of new film techniques and humor based on non sequiturs and one-liners, all served up with music of the period. My World and Welcome to It was loosely based on the works of James Thurber.
New York magazine called the Manhattanite. I lived here in this overripe house in Connecticut with my wife, who's a very wonderful woman if you have the stamina to get to know her. I don't.
Home, sweet home.
Chico and the Man partnered two radically different men. One young, one old enough to be his grandfather, and from wildly different backgrounds.
Amigo. Don't call me amigo.
It means friend.
I don't care what it means. Talk English.
Very well, friend. I would like to be the first Chicano to be associated with this floundering enterprise. Hey, in this neighborhood, you're a minority. And I'm an equal opportunity employee. We make a terrific team.
What, are you out to lunch? You're just going to let this happen to me?
Sanford and Son was another series about a young man and an older one. In this case, father and son in the junk business.
When I was a kid, there was 7 of us in the family. 7. We slept in the same room, same bed, same underwear. That's cool. Do you know them shoes they had called Keds? I wore mine till it said
At the door in a refrigerator.
Oh, look at poor Mommy. Let me help you.
Love, Sidney gave us Tony Randall in one of those wonderfully fussy roles of his that we had all come to love.
Ray! Why so many groceries?
You wanted an old-fashioned turkey dinner? This is what it takes.
Yeah, but I wanted it on Thanksgiving, when you gave us pizza.
And then there are the
I was
Cosbys.
hoping that this would be the beginning of a discussion.
What are we discussing?
All right? Let's say that one of you became pregnant.
Dad!
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
I know it's not me.
Okay, let's say it's you. Let's say that you are pregnant, okay? Now, what are you going to do?
Well, first, I want to find out who did it.
NBC is proud today of its current family comedy series.
From Jeannie and her bottle. to Father knowing best. Cheers to Punky Brewster, family ties and all the rest. Each week they've entertained us, proving life is just a game. Now each situation differed, but the spirit was the same. We are a family, like a giant tree, branching out towards the sky. We are a family, and we're so much more than just you and I.
We are a family, like a giant tree, growing stronger, growing wiser, and we are growing free.
It's more than you. It is more than me. No matter what we are a family. This dream is for all of us. This one can't be real. No one can stop us now because of how we feel.
Hi, Marla. Hi, Nell. Oh, girl, I love your new show.
Not only do I love your show, child, I love your singing.
Get out of here.
It's more than you, and it's more than me. Whatever dreams we have, they're for the family. We're not alone anymore, 'cause there are others there.
Don't you know that this dream is big enough for all of us to share?
So don't think we're not going anywhere. We're staying, we know that you care. And whenever you need us, we'll be there. We'll be there.
We are a family, the giant tree, branching out toward the sky. We are a family, we are so much more than just you and I. We are a family, the giant tree, growing stronger, growing wiser, and we are growing free. We are a family. We are a family. Oh, yeah. We are a family.
Just 4 months ago, Super Bowl 20 was played before the largest total audience for any television show of any kind ever. 127 million fans marveled as William Refrigerator Perry helped Chicago to a lopsided 46-10 win.
That one registered 3.8.
Aside from the daily and nightly news programs, the News Digest, and the other regular programs which keep us all informed, NBC over the years has presented a number of programs of in-depth analysis on subjects that warranted extra attention. One remembers the Kennedy-Nixon debates in 1960.
Candidates for the presidency. The candidates need no introduction. The Republican candidate, Vice President Richard M. Nixon, and the Democratic candidate, Senator John F. Kennedy.
Who could ever forget an NBC News program called The Tunnel?
This was the tunnel when it was finished. And this was how it began. In April 1962, 3 West Berlin University students toured the wall between East and West Berlin.
The American Revolution of 1963.
There comes a time, there even comes a moment in the affairs of men when they sense that their lives are being altered forever, that an old order is dying and a new one is being born.
Behind me is the 16th Street Baptist Church, the main staging area for the demonstrations. On Good Friday, I had watched Dr. King lead a small anti-segregation march through this park. Police Commissioner Eugene Bull Connor ordered his arrest. These two men played principal roles in the drama of Birmingham.
Frank McGee helped take all of us to the moon for the first time.
Tonight, American science, technology, and the men of Apollo 11 stand on the threshold.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We were all personally deeply affected in 1978 by the Jonestown tragedy. NBC News correspondent Don Harris and cameraman Bob Brown were among those killed at the airport. The next decade brought us the Abscam scandal in 1980. NBC's Brian Ross broke that story.
These pictures are made by NBC News with a special night lens. Sources say that more than 100 FBI agents today confronted the targets of Operation Abscam.
In 1981, the hostages were released. 1982 found John Chancellor in Beirut.
But the real Palestinian problem is to be found in places like this. There are a lot of them, but this one is typical. It's the Rashidiyah Palestinian refugee camp in southern Lebanon.
In 1983, I was in China. This is not the China of postcards and presidential tours. This is an intimate portrait of the Chinese people as they adapt to another wave of political and economic change, while at the same time preserving the traditions that have made them unique for more than 4,000 years. And 84 exposed the world to the immensity of the tragedy in Africa and Ethiopia.
Tens of thousands of sick and starving people are now being cared for, but hundreds more arrive to register every day.
Recently, we aired AIDS Fear, AIDS Fact.
I had a real good friend that went home to tell his family that he had AIDS. And they were a very religious family. And they kicked him out. They didn't want to have him around. They didn't, you know, they had no longer had a son. And he came home. And committed suicide.
In the 60 years since NBC became the first network, we have presented you with sometimes more than you may have wanted to know about this world that we share. But together, we share our responsibility of being informed, of trying to change what is bad for the better. I'm proud to be part of NBC News and to share in this celebration.
From the time you leave nursery school and say goodbye to friends and head off to kindergarten to say hello to a new bunch, it's all hellos and goodbyes and a little time in between. You grow up and say goodbye to your parents and leave home to marry the girl you said hello to at the school dance one night. You say goodbye to the old house and hello to the new one. You say hello there to the new baby, and before you know it, 20 years have passed. And you find yourself saying goodbye to the new young bridegroom as he leaves your home. Well, NBC has had its share of hellos and goodbyes over the years, and I don't just mean shows that had high hopes but didn't quite make it. You remember, for instance, the very first Little House on the Prairie?
It was kind of like we were all holding our breath. And then one day our little house was there. Can we go in now?
Not just yet.
Charles!
Today's special.
Can you believe that it was almost 10 years between that hello and this goodbye?
We bury a friend today. This town has been our friend. It's made us a family.
Do you remember that Today Show from Boston when Barbara Walters got a little teary about saying goodbye and going on to the next?
Childhood. I love you all. I will miss you all. This is Barbara Walters on the Today Show in Massachusetts.
Some of the hellos were particularly exciting because we were saying hello to wonderful new talent.
I actually feel sorry for the Wolfman. Now, here's a guy that can't remember when the moon's gonna come up on him. And he must be awfully embarrassing to his family. You know, he's sitting around the table eating, you know, and up comes the movie. Oh.
Just the way you look tonight.
Those of you who were the children of the very first television generation probably have a fond memory in your hearts for the very last Howdy Doody show. After 13 years of watching the always silent Clarabelle play his practical jokes and speak by squeaking his yes and no horns, there were tears in many eyes as Clarabelle quietly approached the camera.
Let's hear you say something.
Goodbye, kids.
We watched and we were informed by the Huntley-Brinkley report. We were also saddened on that last evening of July 1970 when Chet Huntley said goodbye.
At the risk of sounding presumptuous, I would say to all of you, be patient and have courage, for there will be better and happier news one day if we work at it. And David, thanks for these years of happy association and for being such an easy colleague to work with and for all the kindnesses.
I really don't want to say it, but the time has come, and so for the last time, good luck and good night, Chet.
Good luck, David, and good night for NBC News.
And this is how I said goodbye to NBC.
Goodbye. Good night. Come on, Leica. We're going to go home.
And so tonight here I am back at NBC, and I want to say happy birthday, NBC.
You know, this is kind of a special year. Do you know what year this is? I just found out. This is the 60th anniversary of NBC. That's right, that's right. That is a long 1926, 1986, from Babe Ruth to Dr. Ruth.
Oh, hi. I want to tell you I enjoyed the tour this morning. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Listen, your friend was asking so many questions about Johnny Carson this morning. He just went in right into the studio. Hurry up, but be quiet. The show's on.
Thanks.
Royalty like that, but they did.
You know, hey, did you know? They are sending signals that it's time to go. Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know? We have reached the ending of the special show. It has been fun returning to the past. So right now, a bow to our amazing cast. At NBC, at NBC, at NBC, at NBC. We're so glad we had this anniversary. At NBC, at NBC, at NBC, at NBC. What we do for you, but totally the 60 years we've happily renewed. We're so great, we state our deepest gratitude. Our deepest gratitude. The years went swiftly, as you know. You've got a standing date every time we celebrate. Hey, did you know? Hey, did you know? It's our 60th anniversary show. Here comes the crawl. Here comes the crawl. As we frame each name